Hey, everyone. I'm Summer. Welcome to my channel. When designing the hair color of your character, have you ever been afraid of white hair? Because white hair is easy to get dirty and looks very ugly. In this video, I will share my understanding of white hair and the drawing techniques. For the inherent color, use a low saturation gray color to cover large areas to avoid overexposure caused by pure white. Because this picture is an illustration, I first designed the overall light and shadow effect, and then did the local rendering and refinement. I used the overlay layer to select colors with high brightness and low saturation to draw the illuminated area. Based on the direction of the hair strands in the sketch, I drew the hair strands within the hair and a small area of the light-receiving structure. This part doesn't necessarily have to be drawn in great detail. After we finish drawing the dark areas later, we still need to refine the overall design. Next, I will use the main layer overlay layer to enhance the color of the dark areas. Since I need to achieve a strong sense of light, the contrast between light and dark needs to be strengthened. So I will use the main layer overlay layer to quickly press down the dark areas. For this part, I also used the gradient tool, since the inherent color of the hair is a separate layer by creating a layer mask. The painting area can be controlled within the range of the inherent color, and the gradient tool can quickly add transitional colors. The lightness of this layer is still insufficient. I have newly created a main layer overlay layer to enhance the overlapping areas of the hair strands and the light and dark transitions in the dark parts of the hair. This will make the hair more layered. Adjust the lightness of this layer of color according to the situation of the picture. The color I selected on this layer is the color of the existing dark area. This choice is not fixed. It depends on the inherent colors and the lightness of the dark areas in your picture. When using a positive overlay layer, you must choose colors with low saturation and high lightness. Otherwise, the picture will become dirty. The main part I drew in this layer is near the facial area. Since the head is the visual focus of the picture, I want to make this part stand out by adding details and creating a strong contrast of light and shadow. To give the hair a translucent feeling, I added a more saturated color to the hair on the left side close to the face. For this layer, I used the normal layer mode. I also added such a color to the hair gap on the right side that contacts the neck. However, the color tones of the two parts are slightly different. The left side is a little more orange, and the right side is a little more rose red because this part is closer to the neck. Red skin can have an impact on color. To add more color variations and unify with the light source on the skin, I added a little bluish color in the dark areas of the hair, mainly on the raised parts of the hair shape in the dark areas. With this layer, the dark areas of the hair won't be so dull. The hair will be more lustrous and breathable. This picture doesn't have a fine line drawing. The sketch is very sloppy. The strokes of the sketch can affect the color judgment of the picture. I cleaned up the strokes of the sketch again. If you don't want to erase the draft, you can create a mask for the layer of the sketch. In this way, the original sketch can be retained. After the overall relationship is completed, it is necessary to refine the hair strands and brush strokes. The main task is to transition the stiff brush strokes naturally, add more interwoven structures and fine hair strands. Note that when drawing hair, the fine hair strands are added last. First of all, the overall relationship needs to be done well. Because of the overall relationship and the fact that it was done, my strategy was to create a color transition by adding hair strands. In this way, while having a color transition, the details of the hair were also added. When choosing colors, pay attention to the light and shade relationship in the picture. Change the color of the hair strands you draw at any time. Try to draw colors from the picture instead of adjusting them yourself with a color picker. This way, the colors will be more uniform. Pay attention to the interlacing relationship of the hair. Do not draw all the hair strands in one direction. Here are several schematic diagrams that can be used as references. More grayscale variations should also be added to the illuminated part. Draw thinner strands of hair with a small brush. Pay attention to drawing the hair strands in accordance with the overall direction and trend of the hair. The illuminated surface can add more fine hair strands, but do not damage the overall shape of the head. Add more hair strands to the edge of the head to create a flowing effect. Add a positive overlay layer to enhance the contrast of light and shade in the hair area. The color of this layer can be adjusted through the Hue Saturation tool. The initial color is a bit yellowish and leans a bit against the background. I adjusted the color of this layer a little towards a cool color. Use another overlay layer to select warm colors with high brightness and low saturation to enhance the illuminated surface. This can make the hair have a stronger luster. Because more fine hair strands have been added, there were no projections of these hair strands on the original skin. Finally, draw the projection produced by the hair on the skin layer again. The hair is finished. Make a small summary. The inherent color of white hair should not be pure white. Even for white hair, there are dark colors in the dark areas and crevices of the hair. More color variations should be added to the dark areas. You can use a color with a slightly higher saturation to draw in the dark areas. The hair strands are finally drawn along the direction of the hair with a hard-edged brush. That's all for today's sharing. I hope everyone can feel the joy of painting during the process. I will bring you more wonderful content. Stay tuned.